Yeah.
How fast did last year go by?
Oh my God. Like, I guess once that pandemic cleared out, man, we just,
Oh man,
right?
It was like
partied like it's what's that year? I don't even remember.
1999.
1999.
Boy, yeah, it's like it doesn't seem like that long ago in 1999, right?
Yeah.
I remember all the uproar, the Y2K.
Yeah.
That was an important night for me. Yeah, it was like one of the first nights that I realized I wanted to be in entertainment was New Year's Eve 1999, like for sure, because gosh, I don't remember how old I was now. So that's 24 years ago.
Yeah.
I was like 14-ish. Yeah. So around 14, and yeah, that was my first gig that I ever booked, a performance where I was getting paid $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah. That was a huge deal for me.
That's a lot.
14 years old, $1,000 for one night's performance. And I'd quoted it. I remember being on the phone with these guys, and I'd never quoted somebody that much money. I'd never charged that much money before to perform. And so I was like, I remember like the words coming out of my mouth, and I was thinking, okay, it's 1999. It's like the biggest New Year's ever. So they really need entertainment. So it's like, what's your fee? $1,000.
Wow.
And then as they agreed, I was like so excited. And then they canceled last minute.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
they canceled. But hey, I still got paid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had New Year's Eve 1999 off, and I still made $1,000 for doing
that's
absolutely
awesome.
nothing because they canceled like really last minute, and we had
Yeah.
in our contract this cancellation kind of policy or whatever. So yeah, and I was like, dude, this is amazing being an entertainer. Like you get paid even when you don't work. Boy, if only I knew that COVID was coming 20 years from then. We just got paid for 2 years of not working.
Oh yeah.
So we got a couple of viewers. If you guys have any questions, just punch in the questions there. A good place to set this up.
There.
So, we're gonna set you guys on a Kleenex box. I don't think it's really gonna work. It's not really. We need something heavier. But we're doing this way. I think. Can we turn this around? There you go. Oh yeah, there you go. You can hold it.
Okay.
Then we're not going to be able to read the questions. Okay, so when questions come in, just read it to us there. Just hit that little comments button right there, and then we'll be able to see the questions. Okay, cool. So, you got any hair transplants in your future, Steve?
Yeah.
Really? Really? Yeah, always, right?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna film the whole thing.
You're going to get another one.
So I think what I'm gonna do.
Number 27 for you.
28, 29. I think what we're gonna do is just I want you, like, I've always wanted to do a video where you literally, like, excuse me, you are going to watch them like literally extract my graft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you're gonna watch how they kind of make sure it's cool under the microscope, and then you're going to, watch them make a site. I mean, I'm only talking about, just for the video, right? So let's say 800 grafts, all right? Just a little bit on this side, a little bit in right here. You never have enough hair, right?
Wow, you're never satisfied.
And shave it down, and never satisfied. And remember, you're never gonna be satisfied. But that'll be fun, and then we can video, and you can see I'm all about attention to detail. That's what it's about, and that's the one thing we've talked about a lot. But I just love shooting video of the actual work. And I know that's done out there. There's some other really good doctors that do that. And I really want to do that and be a part of that because I want the patients to see, okay, so you're telling me you turn down 85% of the people you talk to, which I do.
Yeah.
Most of those guys, try to get them on finasteride and whatnot, or unfortunately, bad news is you're not a good candidate for hair surgery. But the ones that we work on, it's like, what do we do? Like, it seems kind of basic. You do hair transplants, but how does it actually work and what's the procedure? I want them to see how the quality of what they do here. That's really exciting.
It's so way more complicated, procedure than people realize. It just totally is. Just from the consultation process to the hairline design process to the surgery to after surgery, keeping it all up and everything. It shouldn't be that complicated, like in the sense that from the patient's perspective, I think if you're going to the right place, it shouldn't seem that complicated. It should seem pretty easy. But actually, if you dig into the details, it is quite complicated.
There's a lot of variables that can change on patient to patient. That's one of the things. I mean, how do you know if you're an oozer or not? I mean, oozing which I don't want to scare everybody out there, but it's like trying to thread a needle and taking a bottle of water and spraying it while you're trying to thread the needle.
Wow.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay. So we prepare the patients properly, and these are done at all the better clinics. But what you don't want is set up a patient for failure. You know, did they drink a lot the night before? Did they take aspirin? Are they bleeding?
I don't know if there's a way that I can explain this without throwing somebody a little under the bus, but yeah, I had a procedure done by another surgeon, and I would say that I was not properly informed of like the post-operative care.
Yeah, that's important.
I wasn't, and I don't know if this surgeon, because just because it was me or whatever, but I definitely wasn't well informed, and I had some complications because of that. And yeah, it's really,
well, that
was really, I'm like looking back, I'm a little disappointed in that person for not like explaining things a little bit better.
And that's a great point. That's a great point, is that, one of the questions, and maybe we do a video on this, one of the questions is, hey, if there's an issue, any kind of issue, what does the team or the doctor or the combination do about it? How do they respond? And I'm going to throw myself out there, which I don't like to do. I don't like to pat myself on the back, but it's all about customer service now. It's all about treating the, I swear that if I could bring a big red carpet and just put it in the morning when the patients come in, I would do it, because that's how important this is. That's how much of a very expensive procedure this is. This is how patients have anxiety, and they have butterflies, and we do everything to make them feel comfortable that it's going to go right according to plan. And there should be no outside variables that change so much that the procedure is going to be a failure, because the best doctors out there are not going to do the procedure if there's any chance of it not being as good as it can be.
Yeah, and sometime, I will actually, I think I will make a video on that whole experience, and just this little, it's a small thing, it's a small detail, and so like, I kind of almost hate to mention it, but it was kind of an important detail. It wasn't something that I was informed of. It wasn't something I really thought to do automatically,
right? And
led to some complications. So I will make a future video about that, and probably even discuss that surgeon, just because I think that they're a good surgeon. It's just that, people leave little things out, and like, this is important. It's like, it's why planes go down, right? Like, pilots are good pilots, but it's why they have checklists for planes. That's right. Because there's some little small thing that you didn't have to check, that there was a little bit of air in the gas tank or whatever, and you didn't do the little procedure and checked it, and the plane goes down.
Yeah, I agree.
It's little stuff.
My favorite brand, and we talk about it, business model, but brand, is where they do one surgery a day. They can do a second case if it's a small case, but they're staffed up, full-time staff, work every day together, like an orchestra, everybody working together. And if you do the same thing every day, you might call that Groundhog Day, but at the same time, you're used to doing the same thing every day with the highest qualified patient possible. That'll bring down those odds of something happening. But if something does happen, what's that team going to do about it? What is that doctor going to do about it? And I can sit here and sincerely tell anybody that's watching that this is doctors that are specialists, this is their entire life. This is their entire reputation.
Yeah.
So the last thing they want is to have an issue. And if they have an issue, they want to take care of it. And that's important to me.
Oh, we have a question?
Yes, we do.
Cool.
David, have you tried dutasteride?
Dutasteride? No, yes. I've never tried it. No. Finasteride seems to do the trick with most people, and it's basically a stronger version of finasteride, from what I kind of understand, right?
Yes,
topical can be used a little bit differently. Topical dutasteride is kind of its own thing and has some of its own benefits, but from the things I watched, a really good video on Matt Dominance, who's got a great channel on YouTube, his channel, where he was comparing finasteride and dutasteride, and it didn't seem like the benefits, at least orally, of dutasteride were worth it for the potential risk as compared to finasteride.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So dutasteride is more powerful and closes more of the alpha-5 reductases, which are the receptors that your body is taking its testosterone to turn into DHT. So if finasteride is not working, if it's not working, then we're going to try dutasteride. If you've taken, now we just brought this up, I don't want to create a whole cascade of questions, but well, maybe I do. But the guys that have been on it, I've been on it 19 years, okay? Finasteride. If I see the finasteride not working as well, and I have documented photography, we might want to throw a little dutasteride in maybe a couple times a week, okay? That's what we use it for. Also, if we have young men that are on serious antidepressive and anti-anxiety medications, that is a red flag. We do not want to get them on finasteride, or if we do, we want to monitor them very closely. That is the one subset we're nervous about. We might try dutasteride instead. So those are the reasons why. But let me say this to kind of conclude, is what you don't want to do, and it's okay that you're doing it, is think that it's so much better, because we all want something so much better. We all want to grow hair on bald men's heads. We all want to eliminate hair loss and baldness across the board. So dutasteride is one of those things like, hey, I heard about this dutasteride. Is that better than finasteride? So there's your answer.
Do you give exosome treatments?
Exosomes.
Yeah, so exosomes is a very generic term, okay? Excuse me. Dr. McGrath does exosome treatments, but it's from a particular brand. The way it's extracted out of human bone marrow from 2 specific donors. It's very different than a lot of the exosomes that are thrown around out there.
Because exosomes are they're all over your body. Like exosomes are like there's so many things that you can do that you can give exosomes treatments, but it doesn't mean it's going to work the same way as like a particular product, right?
Yeah, right. It's all in the experimental phases, but exosomes, just so I can elaborate, exosomes are being used. There's a company in Austin, Texas right now, Direct Biologics, which makes a phenomenal product called Zoflo, which has exosomes. Now, exosomes communicate directly with the stem cells. They are not stem cells. They communicate with the stem cells. And they've got multi-million-dollar contracts with the NFL for CTE, which is huge. They had, in July of 2021, 30 patients on a trial on ventilators in Austin hospitals, injected them intravenously with Zoflo. 2 to 3 days later, 29 got up and walked out of the hospital. So the hair part of that is being experimented with, and we're seeing some fantastic results. I had 10 cc's injected in the back of my head. I was done. We laugh about it. There's no way you can get any donor hair out of the back of my head. They injected me with exosomes. My hair blew up like an African-American patient. Like my hair got really strong. It still is.
And it's still, like, your hair is very thick.
It's kind of coarse.
And I remember your hair before was not so thick and coarse like it is. It's like the whole texture. And I think that, I mean, definitely the texture of my hair has changed over the last few years as well. I attribute that partly to the pill, but I also have the exosomes as well. So, I mean, just like my hair is just very thick.
Yeah.
It's like each individual strand of my hair is very thick.
Yeah, and keep in mind that when you look at doing that, this is what I tell everyone, okay? Number one is it's not cheap. These things are not cheap. You need to make sure that you're prepared, that if you go have an injectable treatment of exosomes from any doctor clinic in the country, in the world, you better be prepared for it not to see any results at all. Now, why would I say that? Especially after what I said about myself and David. Well, results vary. I hate to pick on women. Obviously, I'm not here to do that. As a matter of fact, women are great patients, and I love working with women. I work with a lot every day. But women, and this is a compliment, are usually a lot more articulate than most men. Not all men, but most men, okay? And when it comes to women with fashion, with accessorizing, with their makeup, with their hair, they got it going on. They're not going to settle for anything but the best. So if they're going to spend $5,000 for 5 cc's of exosomes, and their before and after photo looks exactly the same, watch out, okay? Because it may have, if I take a female patient that wants to make their hair better and increase the quality of her hair by 20%, if that's measurable, we only have photography, they're not going to notice. Excuse this expression, it's like peeing in the ocean. But is it going to help their hair? Absolutely. So what you want to think about is this is kind of like high octane fertilizer for your front lawn, okay? It's going to make it better. You're not growing any more grass. Can you get hair growth from exosomes? I've seen it, and I believe it can be done, but I would not sign up for it if I was going out. Like, it's not going to grow hair on a bald guy's head.
Yeah.
So you got to be very careful, but there's no downside other than the cost.
Any other questions? Do you have any? No?
None for now. I can confirm that statement.
Yeah. I mean, we work with a lot of African American females, and you know, this goes out to all the ladies, but I mean, the African American females, they've got the accessorizing, they've got the nails, they've got the heels, they've got the wigs when they wear the wigs, and I'm like, wow, I mean, how can I sit here and look at you with no hair in front? It breaks my heart, and I was a mess when I lost my hair, but it really hurts to see that, and we help them, and it's just incredible.
I don't know why there's not like maybe we should make a video about this or something, or like maybe I just need to go talk to some African American females and like try and figure out about this particular thing. Why there doesn't seem to be much discussion among African American females about traction alopecia and how they're basically pulling their own hair out, from what I can tell.
Well, you know,
I ran into this. I ran into this girl on this last cruise I was on. One of the prettiest African American girls I've ever seen. She was like literally everybody who came up to her was like, "Oh, you're a model, right?" Like
Yeah.
everybody. She's a pharmacist, but we were talking, and like I was like, and I noticed her hair because I'm into hair, and I was like thinking, man, you're losing your hair. Like you're pulling. She had the braids, and like I could tell her hair is starting to go because of these braids, and I think she's only like 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I meant to, but I never mentioned it to her. But I meant to say something, just like, hey, do you know that like you're pulling your hair out?
Yeah, it's hurtful. I mean, it gets me.
There's much discussion about that.
Well, I mean, but the thing is that these girls, when they're born and they're in their families and their grandmothers, and they're so excited and they're in church and all that, and they look beautiful in braids. That's a cultural thing, right? And it would be like saying, like in the '80s, don't part your hair in the middle. What are you talking about? Everybody's parting their hair in the middle. Right? So the sad part about it is it's usually too late until the ones that have the weaker hair in the front. We refer to it as the edges. And it's catastrophic. I mean, like I said, it's hurtful to see anyone that's suffering emotionally from hair loss. But when I see the females, like, whoa. And unfortunately for most females, not the African American, traction. But most females, they're not good hair transplant candidates. I always joke with my black ladies and say, man, if I could come back in life, another life, and I had to lose my hair, I want to be an African American female, because they don't really have hair loss. They just have a zone where the hair's been pulled out. So that way we can take it from the back. And they're actually the best candidates on the planet.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's something I should probably talk to this girl about that then.
Yeah, I mean, as long as their hair is good in the back, I mean, other things also apply. They need to have that really strong hair in the back. But, and, they got that kinky curly hair for the most part, and it fills it up. And then, of course, I tell them you're going to want more, and then they want to come back for that second procedure. But I have that 17-minute video on that I did, and, I get compliments all the time because, they can sit there and look at that and see, like, exactly what they're getting into, where, some guys out there are recommending FUE for them. No. Some guys are recommending whatever, no. You need a strip procedure. You need to make sure we do as much as we can, and we need to dense pack that, change your life. So very rewarding.
Okay.
Cool.
Can I at least maintain my hair with just a testeride?
Should be able to, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, if you're using dutasteride, I assume that you were unsuccessful with finasteride. So if you've now seen progress and results with dutasteride, absolutely, you can maintain it.
Yeah, you should be able to maintain your hair with dutasteride.
After 1.5 years of finasteride, what gap should we give my doctor? Advised me 6 months gap. So his doctor advised him a 6-month gap.
6-month gap. What's he referring to? He was on it for 1.5 years, right? And he says
his doctor advised him to take a 6-month gap off of finasteride.
Oh, off of finasteride?
That's strange.
Yeah, I've never
heard of that.
Just so I can take that question. Your body your hair is under attack from your own body. Okay, we've talked about this before. DHT is being produced in your body to make you a man. All of us, everyone that has testosterone, it's converting the DHT to make you a man, and all those things that we know make us men. And then about 18, 19 years old, we're men. We've got the deeper voice and whatever else comes. And
I don't have the deeper voice.
Oh yeah.
I guess I should keep on the
let's get
finasteride.
them off the finasteride.
Yeah.
So when your body is creating that DHT, it's those of us, David and I, and you, sir, are sensitive to the DHT. Friends of ours that we love that have no hair loss at all, that we hate, they have DHT as well. They wouldn't be men if they didn't. It's grown men. It's just that they're not sensitive to it. This is predisposed at birth. So I've never heard of a doctor saying, let's get you on for a year and a half or a year and then gapping you for 6 months. I've never heard that.
Yeah, he said to take a break and see what happens.
Well, okay. So here's what I get from that, okay? If your doctor told you to take a break and see what happens and check in 6 months, then what he wants to see is, are you going to have continued hair loss? Maybe he's saying your genetics may not have any more hair loss in line for you. So instead of taking the finasteride forever, like me and David, let's take off 6 months. Then you look at side-by-side photos. And when you compare, if you see a little less hair, guess what? The attack is still on.
Yeah.
You need to get back on. And that's what David actually did for a while, a bunch of years. So the doctor, I guess, like, your question must be based around, you want to come off the finasteride, or he wants to bring you off the finasteride. Is it safe from a hair standpoint? You need to give it 6 months and look at those photos. If you see any weakness, get right back on.
He says, I'm 24 years old, my father is 56, and he is not bald.
So, okay, so if you could respond, I know that this is not me being able to ask you a question on there. So the question for me to you is, why are you on finasteride? Are you seeing signs of hair loss?
Mm-hmm. But it's not, your father being bald can be obviously an indication, but it doesn't necessarily just have to come from your father. It could come from your mother. It can come from anywhere. Both of your parents could have full heads of hair, and you could still get the hair loss gene.
Yeah.
It could be passed down from an uncle, or like not from an uncle, from like a grandparent, or
Yeah.
it can still get there. It's just a much higher chance. If there's hair loss on both of your sides, it's even more high of a chance. If there's hair loss on one of your sides, you still have a good chance. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
He says from the last 8 years from age 16.
Yeah, then you need to stay on the finasteride.
Oh yeah, if you're losing hair from age 16, you should be on finasteride.
No.
I would not get off that for 6 months. I would not take the chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
What can cause hair loss?
Well, hair loss, male pattern, androgenic alopecia, which is, hair loss.
Male pattern baldness.
Yeah, male pattern baldness or female pattern hair loss is just, in the male body, it's from exactly what I just explained, the DHT, which is it's an enzyme which is taken from your testosterone through your what's called 5-alpha reductase. So there's this process that creates DHT. The DHT is attacking your hair, period. That's what's causing you in a male body. In a female body, it's more challenging. It's not so much DHT. It's more challenging in every way. So in a young man who's starting to see hair loss, the finasteride in my world is a miracle cure for hair loss.
He also said, my doctor is board certified from America Association.
Okay. Well, I mean, David and I have made it clear many times that we're not doctors, and we're not going to ever go head to head with a doctor. If I had a son, which I don't, and he started seeing hair loss, that's the only time I'm not paying any attention to any doctors. I'm getting him on the medication. So,
if I had a son and I don't.
Yeah. So I would say that, is that take your doctor's advice, but be very careful and keep your eyes on it, and make sure you go in for as many photo sessions as you can. That's the important part for you.
Yeah. We are not doctors. That said, and I don't think I'm smarter than any doctor, but that said, the leading cause of death by accident in America is medical error. So it's literally more people die of medical errors in America than of car accidents. So 250,000 people a year approximately every year. So doctors don't always get it right either.
Yeah. I mean, we're just going by standard, but that's an alarming number.
You can Google that.
Yeah. But I would be very cautious, and I'd pay very close attention to it. I'm not trying to scare you. I would just be paying very close attention to it.
Mm. Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's about it.
Cool.
Yeah, so great to be back with you guys, chatting with everybody, and thanks for asking the questions, all of you who did. And we'll probably be back. We'll probably do another live video tomorrow. So if you missed this one and you're still watching, then we got one more question.
Yes.
We always get questions at the end. We'll
Yes.
go. Okay, one more question.
Yes.
We'll be back tomorrow though too.
What do you think of Spencer Corbin?
I think that he's extremely knowledgeable, and he's a friend of mine. I have a business relationship with him in regards to conversation. I think he's got a great platform and format, and I think patients can get a lot of information from him because he's been around a long time. He attends all the meetings of the ISHRS and the ABHRS around the world. He knows most of the doctors personally, so he's a great resource. I consider, David and I, we're just having fun trying to help guys that are losing their hair, and so this came about as we've developed a relationship, as patient educator, and over the years, I've communicated and he's communicated with me, Spencer Coburn, and it's been nothing but utmost respect for each other and very professional.
Cool. Yeah, I don't personally know him, so but I've watched a couple of his videos on YouTube, and guy seems like he has really good information.